offense in the quarterback run aspect, it's not surprising. If he can't move, play the young freshman that looked so composed last week in the comeback.
So Sanders with the sprained ankle last week. Illingworth, boy, did he have a composed second half, and what really was a bit of a slog of a game for Oklahoma State. They found a way to get by Tulsa, although Oklahoma State won the toss and opted to defer their option to the third quarter. So it will be West Virginia with the football. Underway at Boone Pickens Stadium. Winston Wright brings it out and gets brought down right about at the 20-yard line. Well, Jared Dagey, Lubbock, Texas, he calls home. But now he's at West Virginia. A transfer from Bowling Green, was a two-year starter at Bowling Green. Went to the Manning Passing Academy last year as well. And when he was in quarantine, Dan, he found a very interesting way to stay in shape. Mom and Dad both helping him out.
I think this is great. How cool. First of all, his mom's got better feet than me when I played, but this is just so cool. I'd imagine as parents years ago thinking what could be many years to come, probably a nostalgic moment.
Lenny Brown. He picks up a yard on first down. Lenny Brown and Alex Sinkfield both with 123-yard rushing games a couple of weeks ago for head coach Neil Brown, and what was a lopsided opener, as you would expect, against Eastern Kentucky. Now we find out what the Mountaineers really are all about as they open up on the road here against Oklahoma State. Empty backfield for Dagey. Little pitch and catch. He finds Bryce Ford Wheaton, and that's good for a first down.
I love the use of the empty personnel or empty formation for West Virginia. Spread Oklahoma State out and get an easy throw for Dagey on second down.
13-yard gain. Now it's Lenny Brown picking up about 2.5. Wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by Sione Asi. Tyler Lacey there to help on the tackle as well.
Really good job by Asi of just keeping his shoulders square at the line of scrimmage, watching that Lenny Brown committed to the football, and then going to make that tackle.
Lenny Brown again. Lost a half yard. Forced back by Eamon Albagbima. And now we've got third down and at least 8. Trey Sterling came up to help out Albagbima on the stop. Third down and long.
If you're West Virginia, even early in this game, you've got to be thinking, here comes some pressure. That's what Oklahoma State defensively loves to do. They just did it on second down. You got to have an answer for the blitz that's going to come your way.
Here comes that blitz. Hagee will loft one down the seam left, and it's incomplete as he was looking for Winston Wright. So it will be a punt for West Virginia.
And they brought it. There was all-out zero blitz. Everybody's blitzing. Someone takes a guy. That's your man-to-man. West Virginia had the answer. Sterling did an outstanding job of kind of colliding the receiver at about 5 or 6 yards and not giving him a run down the field. West Virginia is going to have to come back to that because Oklahoma State will continue to bring that pressure.
Tyler Sumter forcing a fair catch at about the 24-yard line by Dylan Stoner. Well, it doesn't matter at times who's playing quarterback for Oklahoma State. You give this guy the ball.
What I love is two things best. Understanding patience behind your blocker. Allow that linebacker to scrape over the top, set it up, put your foot on the ground, go get yourself another 4 or 5 yards. And then this vision, the understanding of how the backside flow will affect your run. Press downhill, see that flow's going to go over the top to your right, cut back, and then you get yourself another 8, 9, 10 yards. His vision is probably his greatest talent, and that's saying a lot because he's got great feet and long home run speed.
Play action, though, for Illingworth on first down, and he's going to look deep. One-on-one, trying to lay out is Stoner, and he's got it. No, they're going to call it incomplete. officials say that ball hit the deck. That close to a deep ball for Dylan Stoner.
Beautiful throw by the young freshman. Stoner lays out. A lot of hand fighting downfield. You love the effort. That ball just looked to clip the ground. Maybe man. That looks close to a catch.
Tyke Smith was there in coverage. Stoner's over on the sideline hoping the replay will take one more look at whether or not he did have control of that football. And it looks like that is what will happen. We'll step aside and check on Dylan Stoner's would-be catch when we come back. Back in Stillwater, and a moment ago, replay did confirm, and it was announced at Boone Pickens Stadium, that this was indeed an incomplete pass for Dylan Stoner, as he did not have complete control of the football when it hit the deck. And so the officials on the field with the correct call. It's now 2nd down and 10 for Oklahoma State at their own 25-yard line. Bob Wischusen alongside Dan Orlovsky. Chris Button with us as well. Play action, Illingworth. Quick out route to Brayton Johnson, and that looks to be good enough for a first down.
Bob, these players are sacrificing so much just to be able to play this season, especially Chuba Hubbard. He's from Canada, and with the strict regulations at the border, he can't go home. His family can't come to a game, so it will be an entire year before he sees them. He even became an uncle during that time. His sister gave birth to a little boy. He hasn't been able to meet his nephew yet.
Wow. Everybody has a story about how COVID has impacted them. Long throw to the sideline into double coverage intended for Tylan Wallace, is incomplete from Illingworth. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And imagine Chuba Hubbard. This is a guy that grew up in a suburb outside of Edmonton playing Canadian rules football. So he's a track star on a bigger field in a game that allows you to get a running start at the line of scrimmage. Now try and cover him and bring him down with a head start.
I probably would have been a pretty good Canadian high school football coach with him then.
Wide receiver screen to Brayton Johnson. It'll be 3rd down for Oklahoma State.
It's interesting so far. Gundy and offensive coordinator Casey Dunn have decided to come out and be aggressive, right? Play action shot. First play, 2 quick throws on the next 2 consecutive plays. Now they got 3rd down. West Virginia, not a team that loves to press you on 3rd down. They want to keep the ball in front, allow their pressure just from their front 4 to get home.
Another hitch route. Short of the first down is Tylan Wallace. Sean Mahone came over to help on the stop as he combined with Tyke Smith. And so both teams get a 3rd down stop. McTroy Fortune was there as well for the Mountaineers. The Australian sophomore Tom Hutton to kick it away. End over end kick. Alex Sinkfield. Cut down at the 12-yard line. Field position on the side of Oklahoma State when we come back.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits.
Well, even in the era of coronavirus, teams are trying to keep the traditions alive as best they can. Only 15,000 people or so allowed at Boone Pickens Stadium today, so not many on campus, no tailgating, and yet the Pokes still did their walk across campus into the stadium. We've got a socially distanced crowd. And let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players.
For West Virginia offensively, Bryce Ford Wheaton, really big physical receiver that can go make some of these contested catches. And then defensive lineman Trace Ford for Oklahoma State. What I love, watch him before the snap. He will move around a ton to try to mess with the offensive line.
Broken tackle for Letty Brown. And he picks up 14 on first down. That's a way to change field position. One snap from deep in your own end, and it's a fresh set of downs for West Virginia. Neutral zone infraction. Looks like a free play. And Daigie's going to take a shot. Why not? A jump ball that floats for Sam James out of bounds. But that looked like a freebie for West Virginia.
That's all tied to the movement of Trace Ford. All tied to his pre-snap movement. With a guy that you know wants to try to create havoc for the offensive lineman mentally before the snap, something you can do to control that is the changing of the cadence. Make sure we're not going to allow you to just dance around a ton. You got to be ready when we're ready. So I love that out of West Virginia early in this game.
Letty Brown shoves a man down at the line of scrimmage and gets to midfield. Boy, will that fire up a sideline?
The block by the tight end, T.J. Banks, number 85, comes from the right side of the formation, back across, and just totally sealed off the pursuit. Huge run for Letty Brown.
Right back to Letty Brown for 3 yards. This time he's bet by Malcolm Rodriguez.
So what Oklahoma State loves to do on their defensive front is slant. You can attack that with the zone run game.
Last season, Letty Brown led West Virginia with 367 yards rushing for the season. At this rate, he's going to have 367 yards under his belt by week 3. Slips through the arms of a tackler at the line of scrimmage here and comes up about 2 yards shy of the first down, brought down by Rodriguez. So this will be 3rd down and a long one close to 2.
And I would imagine Jared Parker, West Virginia's offensive coordinator, Neil Brown, are planning on going for this on 4th down, so you can be aggressive with your play call here. You're getting pushed at the line of scrimmage. Maybe you try to take a shot in some man-to-man coverage.
They keep it conservative, but Letty Brown gets the job done.
The push inside right now for West Virginia's offensive linemen. Barrett, Brown, Gummitter, the 2 guards and tackle are just totally changing, kind of denting that defensive line and getting great push.
Alex Sinkfield now in the game. He'll be the faker on play action. Daigie hit as he throws. It's a jump ball, and it's broken up down near the 5-yard line by Radarius Williams, doing his best impersonation of his brother Greedy, who played at LSU and was a high draft choice of the Cleveland Browns.
It's a big shot on Daigie right here. Here comes a prep. Those are the worst. The midsection are the worst. From a linebacker who's got some speed built up to you into that midsection when you're jumping. Those aren't fun, man.
Who's the worst to ever give that to you? Got one in mind?
I had that exact play versus Jonathan Vilma, except he picked me up and slammed me on the ground when it was still legal.
Play action. Daigie off his back foot. Incomplete. That looked like a miscommunication with Reese Smith, the true freshman. So now the run game gets you from inside your own 15-yard line all the way out near midfield. 2 incompletions. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
And this is, again, the situation you don't want to be in versus an Oklahoma State defense. Last 3rd down in 7, they brought 0 blitz. So you have to have an answer versus the all-out pressure if you're West Virginia. Find one of those one-on-one slots on the inside and give him a chance on an out-breaking route.
And they stay very conservative and hand it off to Alex Sinkfield on 3rd down and 10. And Cameron Murray, he blew that play up right at the start. Calvin Bundage was there to help as well. So now it's 4th down and 13.
Don't love the sequence of play calling there. Listen, I love being aggressive on 1st down and taking your shot. But then on 2nd down, you've got to do something to allow yourself to have a chance on 3rd down. So it's a quick game throw. It's a screen. You try to punch or run. Because once you get into 3rd and 10 versus this defense, you're just not set up for success. So I don't love the play call sequence there out of West Virginia.
Tyler Sumter punted for Neil Brown at Troy. And now we've got whistles. And this play blown dead as the play clock wound down before Sumter was able to get the snap.
Delay game. Offense.
Sometimes there are drives that can be successful, even if you don't score. And even though West Virginia stalled, starting from deep in their own end, and now punting from midfield, see where Sumter is able to kick this ball to as Stoner with a fair catch at the 10-yard line. So at the very least for West Virginia, a very good job of flipping field position, scoreless early on.
Big trust. Woo, woo. How about those? We dominate. One play at a time. Do something special. The man, the myth, the legend, Lamar Jackson.
Chiefs-Ravens Monday night, but tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown. Before Mahomes and Lamar Jackson face off. All access with the NFL's last 2 MVPs. Plus one-on-one with Russell Wilson. Randy Moss ranks the best catches for college football. It's Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN tomorrow as Chuba Hubbard is brought down. And Thurman Thomas, by the way, there is Thurman Thomas's old Buffalo Bills jersey as we get set for Sunday Countdown at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And Thurman Thomas is going to be the first ever inductee into the new Ring of Honor, a tradition they are starting today at Boone Pickens Stadium at Oklahoma State. And a guy that someday is going to end up in that Ring of Honor was just brought down at the line of scrimmage by Darius Stills. So Chuba Hubbard can't get it going. It's 3rd down and 10. What a career. Over 5,000 rushing yards for Thurman Thomas. A 2-time Big 8 Player of the Year. And not only in the NFL, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but the College Football Hall of Fame as well. Might be a free play for Illingworth. Takes a shot down the sideline. Tylan Wallace all the way out across the 40. There is a flag down, but it looked as if West Virginia jumped. Gain of 32.
Offside. Defense number 55. That penalty is declined. The result of play is a 1st down.
How about the young freshman using his cadence on 3rd down again? But I love Tylan Wallace here. Watch. He's going to get that squat corner, get past him, left arm swim, gets ready for the football. Sit in that zone, stiff arm. Just an awareness as a receiver, the physicality off the release. I love the settling in that zone. Illingworth doesn't look like a freshman.
No, pretty good throw by a true freshman, to say the least. And there's broken tackles and spinning for a 1st down is Chuba Hubbard. No one ran for more yards last season in FBS than Chuba Hubbard or scored more touchdowns in any Power 5 league last year. Illingworth will try and take off and take a hit as he starts to slide. Met by Alonzo Adai. We check in with Kevin Nagandi.
Bob, this studio update brought to you by AT&T 5G. Our first top 5 upset of the season, taking us to Norman. Blake Lynch, 50 yards out, undermanned Kansas State. They scored 24 unanswered for the 2nd year in a row. They knock off Oklahoma 38-35.
That is unbelievable. Illingworth, he'll be sacked. That result, it's like deja vu. Looks familiar. I think you and I have brought back some memories. We were last year in Manhattan to see the upset.
Well, we can't get blamed for it this year now. Like last year, it was our fault.
Not our fault.
Hey, clap, enjoy.
3rd down and 14. By the way, a big cheer went up at Boone Pickens Stadium when they flashed that score up in front of the Oklahoma State fans. No surprise.
You should get 2 safeties here out of West Virginia's defense, split safeties. So really the goal for Oklahoma State should be, can you get a 2-on-1, 2 guys going at one of those safeties vertically?
Illingworth, well protected. Now you've got a decision to make if you're Oklahoma State. Stoner, 2 yards shy of the first down. 4th down and 2 at the plus 40-yard line. Too far to try a field goal, but probably too close to punt. So it looks like Mike Gundy's going to go for it.
I go for this if I'm Mike Gundy. Like, let's your offensive line struggled last week, right? You've got a decent drive going. Let's see if we can rely on our All-American tailback to go get these 2 yards.
And just as you say, Mike Gundy's making the right move, letting Chuba Hubbard run for it on 4th down and 2. He plays field position, and you can hear the boos in the background from the crowd. They wanted Oklahoma State to go for it, but it will be a Tom Hutton punt instead. Fair catch at the 4-yard line by Sinkfield.
For Shane Illingworth last week when he got to come in as the 3rd-string quarterback. His mom has actually moved here from California, but she hadn't seen him since Christmas, and she got a chance to see him on the field afterwards. He talked to her, and she said, come out here, I'm standing here on the field. He goes out, she's in tears. She gets to hug her son for the first time in nearly 8 months. What a special moment, and for anyone who's a parent to understands the emotion, getting to watch your kid and hug him for the first time.
Well, Chris, you can watch moments like that and others every Thursday. All access with the Cowboys, our time. Oklahoma State football, unprecedented footage. Sound from players and coaches, including Mike Gundy and Chuba Hubbard, streaming exclusively on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. You can download the app or go to ESPNplus.com. First down run right up the middle. And that was quickly met by Eamon Obongbemiga behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1.5 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and a long 8 for West Virginia. Letty Brown on the carry.
I thought that was a really cool moment with Illingworth and his parents. I mean, my son in flag football today completed like a 3-yard pass, and I was going to cry. So I can't imagine watching your true freshman son do that.
Quick pass over the middle. T.J. Simmons spins to the 20-yard line. He picks up 13 and a 1st down.
I like that play call after the run. You get that hard run action and make it easy for Jarrett Doege. Hey, if you like something pre-snap on this run pass option, throw it. If not, let's get into the play. And if that 2nd-level linebacker commits to that, let's just replace him with that slant. I love that for this West Virginia offense.
Doege. That's a 4-yard hookup. Sam James on the receiving end. You know, it's interesting for Jarrett Doege. He transfers from Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Last year, they only played him in 4 games, so that maintained his redshirt eligibility. And everyone's got a redshirt eligibility this year, as Letty Brown has turned back. So he could actually, because if you so choose, playing football this year, the NCAA has already said, you get another year of eligibility. They're not going to be charged for this season. He could be a 3-year player at quarterback for West Virginia if he stays the whole time. 3rd down and 6.
Oklahoma State showing pressure. West Virginia looks to the sideline, changing their play. Let's see if Oklahoma pops out and plays zone coverage.
They're showing blitz. 5-man rush. Right at the sticks. It's a 1st down catch by the true freshman, Reese Smith.
They show pressure. They drop out and play 2-man, 2 safeties deep, man coverage underneath. Reese Smith, the true freshman's outstanding patience-wise off the line. He's got a 5-yard out route. Get to your depth. Don't allow the defender to tell you where to go, and then separate at the top of your route. True freshman winning off his release.
Check down to Letty Brown. It's a nice one-on-one tackle made by Jarek Bernard-Converse.
Yeah, but I don't mind that one bit. Because as a play caller, you're calling that play to get 3 or 4 yards. At worst, hey, get me a completion here. Let's make sure that this gets out of your hands. We'll get to 2nd and 7. Like, you're calling certain plays for certain results as a play caller if you're Jared Parker. So I love that decision out of Dagey. Now, this is an empty package, empty formation. You're trying to spread out Oklahoma State and make sure that they cover all of that 53 and a third, sideline to sideline.
Only a 3-man rush, and Dagey's going to take off. He will be hit as he slides. And that should take us to the end of the quarter. Devin Harper made the stop. So it will be a 3rd down for West Virginia to open up the 2nd quarter. West Virginia and Oklahoma State scoreless after 1. And we'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The SEC is back. Alabama, Missouri. College football primetime presented by PlayStation 5. Tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And the SEC, of course, 10 conference games this season. 6 divisional opponents, 4 non-divisional opponents, and a 2-week bump of the championship game for December 19th. And all that, Dan Orlovsky, is fine with us if it means we get SEC football back to go along with the Big 12 as we open up the 2nd quarter, and whistles at the snap before 3rd down and 4 for West Virginia.
Prior to snap, false start, offense number 57, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So now it's 3rd down and 9.
In these 3rd downs, West Virginia loves to work the slot. Winston Wright, right here, this slot receiver. Try to give him a matchup where he can work on a lesser covering defender.
Oklahoma State shows blitz. Low snap. Here they come. They've got a free runner. Dagey, one-on-one down the sideline. Broken up. Well defended by Rodarius Williams. That was the first incompletion for Dagey on that drive. He was 4 for 4 before that miss.
Here comes that all-out pressure again. Bundage absolutely lights Dagey up. Great job getting the ball out and giving Sam James a chance downfield. Rodarius Williams just right there. And I can't express to people how hard that is. Those corners are by themselves at the line of scrimmage. You are one-on-one, and the offense has the whole field to work with. You better have a ton of trust in your guys that they can go do that. And Oklahoma State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles does.
Fair catch by Dylan Stoner. And once again, an opportunity to check in with Kevin.
Bob, studio update. Let's go to Lubbock and Texas' Sam Ehlinger, 9 of 10 so far to Joshua Moore here, 31 yards out. 17-7 Texas in the first quarter. Updating also our audience, UCF continues to roll 51-28 at the final. Dylan Gabriel, 408, 4 touchdowns. Tulsa next weekend. Back to Bob, Dan, and Chris.
Well, Tulsa gave Oklahoma State all they could want in their opener. It was a low-scoring, kind of a slog of a game that Shane Illingworth was able to manage 13 second-half points. That earned him the start today. But this is a negative play on 1st down. A little slip to the tight end, Jelani Woods. That goes nowhere. Loss of 2.
West Virginia defensively just daring Oklahoma State to throw the football. Daring them to push the ball downfield.
Play action. Slant. A yard shy of the 1st down to Tay Martin.
Talk about the confidence of Illingworth. They didn't even know if he would suit up last week because he missed 14 days of practice due to contact tracing. Was only able to practice 2 days heading into the Tulsa game. You watch him on the sidelines. He is laughing with his teammates, always smiling. That's what the coaches will tell you. He's a kid. You never know if they're winning or losing by the look on his face and his attitude.
Well, they said it was a close race between he and Ethan Bullock as to who was going to be the number 2. Hard to believe when you watch them both play last week. As breaking free is L.D. Brown. L.D. Brown, an acceleration to the end zone for the touchdown.
Watch left side of your screen, number 61, number 89. Give that crease, Springfield, Jelani Woods. And then L.D. Brown is a home run hitting back for Oklahoma State.
All the publicity goes to Chuba Hubbard. L.D. Brown is going to be on some draft boards as well, Dan, if he keeps making plays like this.
Long speed for the Sooners, for the Cowboys. Up 7-0.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by PlayStation 5, as we continue Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Chris Button alongside as well. Oklahoma State strikes first. L.D. Brown takes it the distance. And Winston Wright will take a knee. Well, it is the first ever inductee into the brand new Ring of Honor for Oklahoma State. Thurman Thomas, why not? That's a terrific first inductee. And he spent some time in the locker room and at the hotel last night meeting with these Oklahoma State players. Showed them the old Cabbage Patch dance that he used to do when he would score. So what does L.D. Brown do? Oh, there's a little Thurman Thomas tribute. But all the way back in the 80s, yeah, he got it started.
That's sweet.
I like those old linebacker shoulder pads.
Well, the pads and then the face mask.
Right.
I mean, Thurman Thomas wore the greatest face mask ever because most people who wore that weren't good at football. And then Thurman Thomas wears that face mask, and you're like, wait, you're unstoppable.
Trust me, growing up as a Jets fan, he was unstoppable, or so it seemed. That offense, when they got it rolling, seemed unstoppable.
Who wasn't against the Jets?
Thank you. And now we've got a flag right after the touchback that is not making the head coach very happy. As Neil Brown's team marches back 5, and we're having a tough time with the referee's microphone. So I'm not even sure what it was they got penalized for. And a tunnel screen only goes for about 3 yards on 1st and 15. It may have been a delay of game penalty after the kickoff on West Virginia. Sam James was brought down almost immediately. Only a 2-yard gain on 1st down. So 2nd down and 13 for the Mountaineers.
When you run screens, they should be successful unless the defensive line is willing to run. Cam Murray for Oklahoma State there made that play just by turning and running back to the football.
Letty Brown. Breaking tackles. 1st down and more. Out to the 40-yard line. Maybe the 41. That's a pickup of 18.
It's a perfect example of when backs don't stop their feet. Just continue to run, continue to run, continue to run, and force people to tackle you early in the season. Practices are weird. Off-season's different. Training camp has been different. Force these guys to make tackles on you.
Flag down, however.
The result of the play is a 1st down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 4, that is his first for spinning the ball. That 50-year penalty will be enforced. It will be 1st and 10, West Virginia.
So Letty Brown picks up a 1st down, a 19-yard gain. That is an unsportsmanlike conduct foul, though. So in the end, it's a 4-yard net gain for West Virginia. They do get credited with the 1st down, however.
Wait. That's unsportsmanlike conduct?
Yes.
Listen, if he did it in someone's face to taunt them, I'm okay with that. This is an emotional game. All he's doing is getting up and, like, having some emotion. Like, to me, there's no way that's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Wheel route. Sink field. Pushed out of bounds. Trey Sterling came over to bump him out. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Ball's kind of drifting him out, and then Sterling's right there. West Virginia's trying to use some motion, some play fake to confuse Oklahoma State defensively, but they're in man defense. They're doing a great job being disciplined, having their eyes on their receiver or running back rather than watching the football.
Over the middle, making the catch, T.J. Simmons. Gets a block. Breaks a tackle. All the way down to the Oklahoma State 35-yard line before he is finally run out.
Watch the eyes of Dagey. Stare to your left, his right. Hold that middle linebacker, number 7, and then bring that crosser into that window. Talked to Neil Brown about Dagey. I said, man, I think he does a great job with his eyes. He sees windows, not defenders. When you're playing zone coverage, you've got to be able to see windows, not defenders. Move those people certain ways to create throwing areas. Dagey does that at a very high level. Perfect example right there.
Play action slant to Winston Wright. That's good for 10 yards and another West Virginia 1st down.
Take advantage of pressure. Pressure comes from the field. You run that RPO. That outside linebacker comes. Replace him with the slant.
And trying to play with tempo. And maybe a little too much tempo for West Virginia.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's the left guard, James Gamitter.
You know that Oklahoma State's going to come up and play man coverage and dare you to throw the football or to take a chance downfield. You got to earn your paycheck here as a play caller. Allow your guys to give some, look at this. You got man coverage up top, man coverage on the bottom, man coverage in the slot. One of those guys, you got to help win with their routes.
Here comes the blitz, and rushing the throw was Dagey. So now it's 2nd down and 15.
It's there. It's there. Winston Wright did a great job, again, setting his defender in man coverage and slipping inside. Dagey just be a blink more patient because that run fake is getting those linebackers to step up. Again, you're in man coverage. The middle of the field's completely vacated. If you put that ball on Winston Wright, he's probably going to cross that safety space and go score.
Jared Dagey made 3 starts last season as they preserved his red shirt. One of those starts was against Oklahoma State. It was in Morgantown, and West Virginia lost the game by 7. Down by 7 again here. Again, it's a crosser. This one's incomplete again. Bryce Ford Wheaton couldn't hold on. Christian Holmes helped knock it away. 3rd down and 15. The run game has gotten things going downhill for West Virginia, but they have stalled either with shot plays that have been incomplete or penalties have hurt them.
The last thing I want to do is call a play where Dagey's got to hang in the pocket here. So I'm going to call something, even if it's to this soft zone up here. You got a soft zone up there. Give me 5 or 6 yards and I'll kick my field goal.
4-man rush. Dagey has it knocked away. That might be a loose ball. After it. And picking it up. Oklahoma State to the house. Tyron Irby takes it the distance for a scoop and score touchdown.
Watch the bottom of the screen, Ford right here. A little dip inside. Now watch the right hand come by. whack on that ball. Daigie's trying to climb the pocket, 3 or 4 hitches. Fumble return for Oklahoma State. That's exactly why I said, do not call something to have him hang in the pocket. 94 is too good.
Yeah, Tyron Irby gets the scoop and score touchdown, but it is Trace Ford. You said it right at the start. If there is an X factor in this game, it's going to be whether or not West Virginia can diagnose where Trace Ford is lined up, and do they have a plan to block him.
And especially on 3rd and 15. You're getting one of the country's best pass rushers, certainly in your conference. I know pass is coming, and I'm going to beat my guy one-on-one. That's why I just wanted that ball to get out of Daigie's hands. We just wanted a nice drive. Let's go get some points.
Oklahoma State scores on offense. Oklahoma State scores on defense. And the Pokes have a 2-touchdown lead.
College football presented by PlayStation 5 on ABC is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
Well, so far this century, Neil Brown, the 4th head coach at West Virginia. His 2nd season as the Mountaineers head man. Last year, 1 game below 500, but he was a winner at Troy. 3 straight 10-win seasons at Troy and was the Sun Belt Coach of the Year 3 seasons ago. Helped develop that NASCAR offense under Tommy Tuberville when he was the offensive coordinator at Texas Tech, and he was the OC when Texas Tech delivered one of the all-time crushing losses to West Virginia all the way back in 2012. So they'll come out to the 25-yard line as Winston Wright takes a knee. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Chris Budden. And now it's a bounce-back opportunity for West Virginia after they had driven down to the point where they were at least in field goal range and allow a scoop and score touchdown the other way.
And this is when great leadership needs to show up, because you've moved the football, right? You've just gone on a couple drives, and this is time in a huddle where your guys, hey, let's regroup. We're fine. Let's stop hurting ourselves. We're fine. We'll go right down the field and get ourselves back into this ball game. 1 play at a time, and it's got to start with your quarterback, Jarret Doege, just operating this offense.
West Virginia's got 2 more total yards so far than Oklahoma State, but that turnover became 7. And they've also given up 1 big running play on the touchdown run by L.D. Brown, and now Sinkfield is caught behind the line of scrimmage by Malcolm Rodriguez. So it's a negative play on 1st down for West Virginia.
Something that Oklahoma State has become synonymous with defensively is negative plays. And it's a fine balance with Jim Knowles, their defensive corner. Like, how aggressive do I want to be to create these big negative plays? Because you expose yourself for the potential of a big play by the offense just because of numbers and slanting. But he always says, I don't ever want to regret not being aggressive enough.
There's a 1st down catch. Winston Wright, a hook up with Doege.
That's the matchup for me. Winston Wright and Reese Smith, those slot receivers. I truly believe if they continue to give those guys option routes, they will win.
Doege with a swing pass to Sinkfield. Little dead leg in the flat. 1st down and more. Well, West Virginia's moving the football. Can they finish a drive with points?
We call that, by Sinkfield, we call that the ear with that leg.
What do you call it?
Ear. I can only call it that because
you couldn't do it.
I promise you, if I did it, you would have heard wee wee.
Yeah. That's a move I make occasionally at the media buffet when the opportunity arises. There's a negative play. Again, a Jim Knowles defense creating a minus on 1st down. That'll be 2nd down and 11. Israel Antoine there to make the tackle.
And the negative play again is because of all the pre-snap movement. Guys are just, they start in one spot, and right before the ball, they'll move to a different spot. But the thing they do well is once the ball is snapped, they all consistently get where they're supposed to get, so they're gap sound.
Blitz is picked up at 1st. Now Doege under heat to the sideline. Incomplete. Another pass defense for Rodarius Williams. He's got something to say about it afterwards.
I might stop throwing at 8 right now. It's just he's not allowing these receivers off the line of scrimmage. So if you're West Virginia, stop thinking outside, start thinking inside. Continue to try to work in between those numbers. Third down so far, Oklahoma State has brought 0 pressure and then played coverage. You've got to anticipate you're going to get a 0 blitz here. Again, work one of your slot receivers on an outbreaking route.
Well, timeout's going to be called by West Virginia. 9:08 to go in the first half. 2 touchdown lead for Oklahoma State. The National Championship Trophy, presented by Dr. Pepper, has made its way to Boone Pickens Stadium here in Stillwater. And whose hands will that trophy end up in after the most unusual of college football seasons? Got a long way to go. And a long way to go in this game between Oklahoma State and West Virginia. Bob Wischusen alongside Dan Orlovsky. Chris Budden with us as well. Big play here for the Mountaineers. 3rd down and 11. 3-man rush. Dagey on the slant. He's got a first down hookup. Winston Wright able to wall off the coverage. And that's a big one for West Virginia.
Work those slot receivers. 16 will win for you. Saw the drop down by the backside safety. Got that ball out on time.
And now a timeout called defensively by Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State scored their first time out of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Winston Wright only had 19 catches all of last season. But he's playing a much bigger role for West Virginia this season. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings, brought to you by PlayStation 5. Clemson has the week off. Alabama and the rest of the SEC getting their year underway as we speak. But certainly the one you're going to circle, Oklahoma, for the 2nd consecutive year, goes down at the hands of Kansas State. And this year, it happens early, 38-35. The Wildcats get it done.
This could be a really fun day for the Cowboy fans. Oklahoma loses. You're at home. True freshman starting up 14-0. I'd imagine they could have a really good Saturday afternoon if they continue to play well the rest of this game.
Tipped ball incomplete. Just off the fingertips of T.J. Simmons. Looked like a pretty good throw from Dagey.
But they got something, right? They've got something there where they believe if they just line up with 3 wide receivers and sell some run fake downhill and bring that slot receiver on a slant behind those linebackers, that's routinely been there. So Oklahoma State's going to have to figure out how do they want to answer those inside slants.
Four-yard shy of a first down for Letty Brown. So another 3rd down coming here for West Virginia.
And this is the prime time when Oklahoma State's going to go, okay, we're going to shut this drive down and pressure's going to come. Do not throw at number 8, Williams. You've got this bunch down here. Look for some kind of crossing mesh pick out of that trip set with the man coverage.
Dagey off his back foot finds a crosser short of the sticks. And now the decision again to be made for West Virginia. Sam James stood up after a gain of a couple. It'll be 4th down and 3. Well within field goal range. Do you take some points here and maybe start to get your team feeling good about themselves? Or do you go for it? It looks like they're going to try and get some points.
Yeah, I think this is right. Again, you've had some drives. Eventually these drives got to lead to some points.
Evan Staley has missed his only attempt so far this season. The former walk-on trying to get West Virginia on the board from 39 yards, and they muff the snap and don't even get a chance to get the kickoff. Grayson Jason Malashevich, the holder, could not come up with the snap. And a muff on special teams continues what has been a frustrating first half for West Virginia.
Snaps right there in Malashevich's hands. Just does not get the transition from catch down to the ground. Oklahoma State 14-0. We talked about all the places that Trace Ford, the sophomore, would line up. Well, let's show you the different variations. First of all, off the ball over that left guard. Okay, where's he going to end up after the snap? Now, I'm off the ball over that right guard. And how about in the passing situations? By himself, off the edge. Watch the right hand come over the top. Right there, he looks a lot like DeMarcus Ware, the ex-Dallas Cowboy great right there. Physical, over the top, swipe away, sack, fumble, touchdown.
They've got playmakers on defense, and of course they've got playmakers on offense. As responsible for that touchdown on the swipe out fumble was Trace Ford.
Roughing the passer, defense number 50, contact to the head, 15-yard penalty, added to the end of the play, first down.
And Jared Bartlett just roughed the freshman Shane Illingworth after the Tylan Wallace reception, so that becomes a big play.
That's a people at home's probably not going to look much, right? Not egregious. You come in contact with the quarterback's head, the quarterback's face, it's getting thrown. That's just the state of football right now, and it's the right call.
That was a 15-yard completion. Tack on another 15 yards for the penalty, and just like that, it's a first down in plus territory. And here's Chuba Hubbard getting to the outside. Picks up 5.
It's a good job by Oklahoma State. They put their formation into the boundary. They put trips into the boundary. West Virginia has to match those numbers into the boundary. That leaves the whole field where you put Tylan Wallace out there. They leave a safety over the top. You can hand that ball off to Chuba, and he's got the whole from the right hash all the way to that field to be able to run. Here it is again. Formation up into the boundary. Look at all those numbers up there.
So to the bottom of your screen, there might be some more running room for Hubbard. Instead, he's going to go right up the middle and pick up a first down.
But you only leave at the line of scrimmage 2 defenders from the left hash to the right side of the ball. That allows the up the middle or towards that right side of the run. There's so much area for those defenders to cover.
West Virginia, to this point, has 20 more yards of total offense than Oklahoma State, even after that last play. Hubbard again, bouncing it outside, and gets waffled after a gain of 3. But the Mountaineers are on pace for a 500-yard day, potentially, in terms of total yards. They've got no points on the board.
Nice job by Jelani Woods there, wrapping around from the left side of the right, and a cutback.
3 more yards for Hubbard. Chandler Samito made the stop for West Virginia. It will be a big third down and medium, third and about 5 for Oklahoma State.
And I think you got to be very selective with your play call here, right? 3rd and 5, you're already somewhat in field goal range. Do not be surprised if Casey Dunn and Mike Gundy decides to run the football here and play 2 down, 4 down territory.
Well, that diamond formation, full house backfield, and a run for Illingworth, and a throw incomplete. Knocked down by Troy Fortune. So now it's 4th down and 5. Well within field goal range for Mike Gundy. There is a flag down, it looks like, on the play.
There's no foul for an elbow man down 50. Ball did not cross the line of scrimmage. 4th down.
So now Mike Gundy will attempt to make this a 17-point advantage, as he'll have his field goal unit go out to try one from about 41, maybe 42 yards. Alex Hale. They'll line this one up from 40 yards out. He was 3 for 3 on opening day. for 4. 17-0 Oklahoma State. And Chris Budden bringing you football from Stillwater. Conference opener for West Virginia and Oklahoma State. And West Virginia has moved the ball. 190 yards of total offense, but a defensive scoop and score touchdown for Oklahoma State. An L.D. Brown big run up the middle. And with 5:02 to go before halftime, it's a 3-score lead for the Pokes.
You've done everything you've wanted to do if you're West Virginia offensively. You just, 1, had a crucial mistake, and 2, didn't get the field goal attempted. You just got to continue to tell your players, we're fine. We're fine. Let's go and go out on another drive, and let's 1% better. Let's not make that one mistake for us, and we will get into that end zone. You just got to keep your energy up, too. I want to see Jarret Doege bring that energy for your offense right here.
Oklahoma State has won 5 in a row in this series. The last time West Virginia managed to win against Oklahoma State was here in Stillwater all the way back in 2014. And they'll pick up 4 yards on first down on the dive by Letty Brown. Second down and 6, 4.5 minutes to go in the opening half. And it's about a 1-yard gain, so it will be 3rd down and 5 for West Virginia. Well, if you'd like to keep watching our game, we are about to switch over to ESPN News. But right now, we're going to send it to ABC News in New York for a special report. Now on ESPN News, 3rd down and 5 for West Virginia. In stride, a big play. Winston Wright breaks free. Just what the doctor ordered for the Mountaineers. Touchdown.
Look at the slot right here, Winston Wright. Watch the patience, okay? Come up, set the safety, get over the top of that corner, and let's go long game. Run away from Malcolm Rodriguez. The patience, squared that safety up, got that safety to set his feet, run across his face. Huge win for Winston Wright in this Mountaineer offense.
Only a sophomore, that's the first career touchdown for Winston Wright. And boy, did it come at a time where West Virginia desperately needed it. They've got 265 yards of total offense now here in the first half. They get the ball back one more time. They could potentially be on track for a 600-yard day moving the ball. They finally score.
I just want everyone to watch Doege here. Watch him peek to his right, real subtly right. There, shoulder turn. That little shoulder turn and peek got Malcolm Rodriguez, that underneath linebacker, to freeze. We talked about earlier in this game how you can create windows as a passer playing zone defense or playing against zone defense. You got to move people. The shoulder turn and the peek at the same time by Doege froze that linebacker. You trust your receiver to win across the safety space. That is perfect pitch and catch from 2 to 16.
These next 3 minutes and 48 seconds could be pivotal in terms of the outcome of this game. Because if West Virginia can get a stop the way they're moving the ball, there's no reason to think they couldn't be in position for more points before halftime. And now they get a muff on the kickoff return. Were they gifted a possession down deep in Oklahoma State territory? Who's got it? It looks like the Cowboys have avoided disaster as Braden Johnson coughed it up. State.
That's a panic moment. That's a panic moment if you're Oklahoma State when that ball is bouncing around right there. The ball slips right through Braden Johnson's arms.
Looks like Jason Taylor, the safety, was able to come up with it.
And you're sick to yourself if you're West Virginia, because you got 6 guys near the football.
3.5 minutes to go before halftime. LD Brown picks up 4 yards on first down. And these two teams really only know one tempo, and that is go, go, go. Although now we'll get Illingworth to look over.
See all these numbers up top for West Virginia? You've got space here off that defender, off this defender right here. You've got space for the run game.
Illingworth well protected. He's going to take a shot. And well overthrown, intended for Tylan Wallace. How important is this play now, especially if you're West Virginia? You have a chance to force a 3 and out with plenty of time to get the ball back before halftime and maybe score.
And look, you've dominated the football game. I mean, just statistics-wise, you've dominated the football game. So to your point, Bob, this is huge because you get off the field right now. You're feeling great if you're West Virginia. Here we go. We're going to have the ball with 2:45 left, and we're going to go right down the field again. And Oklahoma State has not shown a ton of confidence on 3rd down in Illingworth today.
Oklahoma State has not had a 3 and out today. And they won't have one here. Tay Martin picks up the first down.
Good job using some pre-snap motion to change the formation strength. They went from a 2-receiver side to a 3-receiver side. Basically had too many people over there versus that West Virginia zone.
LD Brown with a cutback. 3 yards on first down. Each team has 2 timeouts left, and it's certainly conceivable that both could be in a position where they're going to want to call them during this possession.
Oklahoma State taking their time, which is what they should do right now. You want to play with a thought process of going to get points, but you also don't want to play so fast where you give the ball back to West Virginia's offense with a ton of time.
Nowhere to go for LD Brown, and now you might want to call a timeout if you're West Virginia. Dante Stills gets a stop with 2 minutes to go in the half.
West Virginia has called their 2nd timeout of the half.
Watch Stills right there. Let's watch the big fellow work. Watch the swim. Ooh.
Please reset the game clock to
55 and 56.
2:04.
If they look similar, they should. 56 is Darius, 55 is Dante. The brothers Stills. Well, Darius Stills is the preseason Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. His brother Dante, he was 2nd team All Big 12 last season. That is one big-time combination to have in the interior of that defensive line. And you know, Dan, that really, as we move through this game, might be the difference-making matchup between Oklahoma State and West Virginia. If the Stills brothers can make plays and control Chuba Hubbard, not give up big plays in the run game, there's no reason to think West Virginia can't come from behind.
And that's what they want to do. Scheme-wise, they want to allow those two to control the football game. You guys go make the plays and allow us to play our umbrella coverage, keep the ball in front of us.
Watch the brothers. When one does something, another one will follow. Coaches say jealousy. It's what feeds these guys. One does it, another one wants to one-up them.
And why not? Darius only 1 year older than Dante, but it's almost like coaching twins, according to Jordan Leslie, the D-line coach. Here goes Chuba Hubbard. And now Might want to call that last time out if you're West Virginia and preserve as much time as you can for your offense as you force fourth down, and they will. That's good clock management. You know, you mentioned this in a game we've worked earlier. You as a quarterback would much rather have a minute and 57 and no timeouts than allow that clock to wind all the way down 40 seconds and maybe have a minute 17, a minute 10 or whatever, and one timeout.
No doubt, because I control the clock when I'm on offense, essentially. I can control it by spiking the football, a deliberate incompletion, getting myself out of bounds. So give me the time, because I can control that stuff. I'd rather have the opportunity for snaps than just having a timeout. So if you're West Virginia here right now, what you're doing, first of all, on fourth down, I think they should come after this punt, right? This punt's going to get snapped from, 29-yard line. So I'd come after this punt to see if I can get something on a block punt. But offensively, you're making sure your guys understand, hey, if we're near the first down marker, go get it. Go get that first down. But if you don't dance around, if you're outside the numbers, get out of bounds. Let's preserve clock. And we've got plenty of time to march down this field. And at worst case scenario, we're getting a kick to end this half.
Alex Sinkfield back for the Hutton punt. End over end. Fair catch at the 30-yard line. So that's pretty good field position for the Mountaineers as they will begin at their own 30 or just across. No timeouts left, but a minute 52 to go here in the first half. And again, this Mountaineers offense, they've got 265 yards of offense, but not only did they have a fumble that resulted in a scoop and score for Oklahoma State, that 10-play drive that stalled and ended on downs, well, that was a muffed snap on a field goal attempt where special teams left 3 points on the field.
Exactly. So you're totally confident in everything that you've done offensively. I'll continue to harp this point. Work the middle of the football field to Winston Wright or Reese Smith.
That's Wright in motion. It's a screen instead to Sean Ryan. And he is bumped out of bounds by Christian Holmes.
Good start offensively. Now the big thing for Jared Dagey is to understand that Oklahoma State can bring their pressure. They're all out, zero blitz at any point. You always have to have a plan for that. What is the plan and who are you going to go execute it with? Is it a shot? Is it a slant? Is it an out route? You just have to know what the plan is and what the plan is and who's going to be a part of it. Here they come. Look at all these bodies up near the line of scrimmage. You better have a plan for that pressure.
Jump cut in the backfield by Sinkfield. And it looks like he is very close to a first down. And if he gets the first down, that should stop the clock. But the clock is running, and that's why they're going to mark him about a half-yard shot.
I want him to get to the line of scrimmage. Let's get to the line of scrimmage. Go quick quarterback sneak.
There is the quarterback sneak, but flags fly. Were they set? This may have been a false start for West Virginia. We'll see.
All 11 players never got set prior to the snap. False start, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still third.
At the end of the day, that's on the quarterback. You always get told in those hurry-up situations, your number one job is to make sure that everybody is set before the ball gets snapped. So you want to play you want to get to the line of scrimmage, you want to play with tempo. You got to make sure that everyone got set. There's Winston Wright right here in that slot.
Third down and 5 after the penalty, and a lot of time is coming off the clock, down to 1:08 to go in the half. And a missed point blow up in the backfield for Calvin Bundage. Boy, this drive for West Virginia going nowhere, and now will Oklahoma State call a timeout? They should before fourth down.
It's one of those zone reads where Bundage has decided, I'm just going to go try and blow up that mesh point. And Dagey's going, do I give it? Do I take it? The back's going, is he giving it? Is he taking it himself?
Timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
But that play call is probably a perfect example of why it's really difficult to game plan and prepare for a defense like Jim Knowles, because you always have to have an answer for the pressure. And the thing is, when you don't have an answer for pressure, bad things usually happen, right? And so on that situation, you're going,
clock to 104, please. 104.
maybe we'll just hand it off. We'll hand it off. I don't want anything bad to happen here, just because of the fear of what that pressure puts into your mind as a play caller.
So now a chance for Oklahoma State with the timeout and 1:04 on the clock to possibly add to their lead before halftime. As Tyler Sumter will kick it away to Dylan Stoner. Their catch at the 32-yard line. Well, 59 seconds. College football timing rules, so a first down stops the clock and you've got a timeout. That's all the time in the world for Oklahoma State.
The question is, how much time has Shane Illingworth had, reps-wise, running their 2-minute offense, right? Because 2 weeks ago, he was their third-string quarterback.
And he was in quarantine.
Correct. So that's the biggest question for Casey Dunn, is their offensive coordinators. How many reps has he actually run operating this 2-minute offense? And maybe it's a 3 or 4 play package where you go, you know what, Shane, we're going to run these 3 or 4 plays here, and let's just see what happens on first or second down.
Chris Budden talked about this when we came on the air. Illingworth missed a couple of weeks of practice towards the end of camp because of contact tracing. Out of the pocket here. And a check down intended for Jelani Woods is incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 53 seconds to go in the half.
You know me, usually I'm all for let's go be super aggressive. This would not be the moment for me. I'm up 17-7. I got a true freshman right now. The other team doesn't have any more timeouts. I'm going to get this ball handed off and go to halftime.
And Oklahoma State, of course, will start the third quarter with the ball. There's a free 15 yards. Dante Stills grabbed Chuba Hubbard's face mask. So just when it looks like Oklahoma State is trying to just play for half, West Virginia, another penalty, and this is going to flip field position enough. You'd have to think it's going to change Oklahoma State's strategy. Right now, you're going to be aggressive. You're going to try for points.
Now my mind is totally changed because
personal foul, face mask, defense, number 55, 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Because you're going to see the face mask from 55. He's just reaching out right here. Stills is just reaching out. That's just an unfortunate break. He knows it. That's not something that's intentional. But now, if you're Oklahoma State offensively, my mind is totally changed. I'm going, okay, I need another 15, 20 yards, and I got a shot at a kick.
They'll still keep it on the ground with Chuba Hubbard, and they'll probably have to call that one timeout here. A lot of time's going to come off the clock after only a 6-yard gain on an up-the-gut run play. Down to 30 seconds to go in the half. Illingworth, long throw to the sideline. Stoner picks up a first down and stops the clock with 23 seconds to go.
I love the patience by Illingworth. This is a big moment right now. A lot of pressure. Things are moving fast. He's hanging in that pocket, climbs, get that ball out to Stoner. And again, now you need another 10 yards. So you're calling a play with that in mind. Okay, I'm going to make this an ultra safe play call. I've got a timeout in my back pocket. I can continue to call my run plays.
There's another run. Chuba Hubbard stood up, and now you have to call timeout. Tony Fields, Noah Guzman are there on the tackle. And a couple of up-the-middle runs for Chuba Hubbard with under a minute to go. You're in field goal strategy now. And obviously, you've kind of taken any chance to get to the end zone off the table by running it the way they have.
Yeah, so here's the situation. No timeouts are on the clock, and you've got a true freshman in the game at quarterback. So my goal would be to get rid of 10 seconds here as a play caller. So I would tell Illingworth, hey, we're going to try to take a shot one-on-one down the field. If it's not there, I want you to throw this ball 10 yards over that wide receiver's head. I want you to go 1, 2, 3, hitch up, throw the ball downfield if you love a one-on-one. If not, it lands 10 yards out of bounds. We burn 5 seconds. I'm all about just burning clock right now. Because here's the thing, you don't want a completed pass. You really don't want a completed pass, especially behind the line of or behind the first down marker. And the last thing I want is you to hold the ball for a second and a sack happens because you're not prepared for it.
Well, it's only 2nd down and 3. You would, I would think, have time, even if you come up short of the sticks, to spike the ball on 3rd down and get set. Let's see if they do use the middle of the field here in any way. They're just going to run it. And Chuba Hubbard's going to pick up the 1st down. So that will stop the clock they need it to be stopped. And they can spike it and still get their field goal unit out there with plenty of time on the clock. And I would think, unless you want to run another play here and spike it again just to take the clock down, you might just kick it now. And
no, I think you feel comfortable kicking it here. That's a dicey play call on 2nd down, though, because here's the thing. If Chuba gets held up, and he's behind that 1st down to gain marker, that clock will continue to tick, 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 and you could not get that snap off. So really good execution by the Oklahoma State offense.
This would be a career high for Hale if he knocks it through. This is his 1st season kicking. And that is comfortably through from 44 yards out. So Alex Hale stays perfect. He's now 5 for 5 on the season. 3 seconds to go before halftime, and Oklahoma State has pushed the lead back up to 13. And they also start the 3rd quarter with the football.
Those 3 points are really part of the face mask, right? I mean, it's unfortunate that happened to Dante Stills, but it's just part of that face mask.
I remember listening to Bill Parcells a lot growing up in New York and watching the Giants, then the Jets, being in press conferences when he was the head coach of the Jets. He always talked about hidden yards, and you just saw them right there.
Yeah.
100 yards of hidden yards in a game is worth 7 points. So if I have 100 yards worth of penalties against me and you have 0, even though that 100 yards doesn't show up statistically anywhere in any player's individual numbers or total yards in the game, that 100 yards is worth 7 points. Well, in the 1st half, West Virginia has 70 yards of penalties. Oklahoma State has 5.
There you go.
That's about a 4-point differential just in penalty yards.
And don't
plus you throw in the fumble, the scoop and score, and the muff, where West Virginia should have been able to kick a field goal, and they muffed a snap. I mean, that 13 points shows up in mistakes by the Mountaineers as much as it does in execution by Oklahoma State. So with only 3 seconds on the clock and no timeouts, it should be a kneel down, you would think, for the Mountaineers. And it will be a 13-point lead. Oklahoma State will take to the 2nd half against West Virginia, a team that they have a 5-game win streak working against. Mike Gundy is 6-2 in his career against the Mountaineers, and that will take us indeed to halftime. 20-7, Oklahoma State over West Virginia at the half. Kevin Nagandi, Booger McFarland in studio at the State Farm halftime report after this short timeout.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by PlayStation 5 and the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. Just about set for the start of the 3rd quarter. It'll be Oklahoma State ball with a 13-point lead over West Virginia. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Budden in Stillwater. And, you know, the numbers say that this game should basically be dead even, but it goes to show you how much total yards necessarily mean.
Yeah, I mean, West Virginia's got to feel okay about itself, though, because they've been able to manufacture yardage, stop beating yourself, essentially. And then for Oklahoma State, I really believe they're going to have to try to get some points on the board by their offense to try to win this game in the 2nd half.
Well, the Cowboys deferred their option to the 3rd quarter and opted to kick off, so they will start the 3rd with the football. And it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Well, it started with L.D. Brown, the huge touchdown run behind the block of Springfield and Jelani Woods, a little celebration at the end. And then watch Jace trace forward at the bottom of the screen. That swipe over the top. That gives that sack fumble. Huge play for this Oklahoma's defense. And then how about this to Winston, right? The slant over the middle. Great eyes by the quarterback, Daggy. And then the ability to run away to get the Mountaineers on the scoreboard.
And does that heighten the importance of this drive to start off the third quarter? And can West Virginia get a stop to begin the third? L.D. Brown brought down behind the line on first down. Chris Button.
Well, spoke with Neil Brown at half, and he basically went on for about 60 seconds of every mental error that his team made in the first half. Focus on the word discipline. He liked the way that his team has been able to move the ball. Found it positive that they were able to do that despite all the errors and mental mistakes they made. Thinks that this is a mature enough team to be able to move that and put that in the past.
They're about to lose a defensive player as Vandarius Cowan was brought down on that last play, and they're working on his left knee.
Cowan's an important part to this defense, especially on third downs. Like to move him around as a rusher. He comes through the line of scrimmage there. You just see that leg get whipped around on that offensive lineman. Goes to it right away. You just hope he's okay.
He's an Alabama transfer. He had a knee injury last season and was only able to play in 2 games. Hopefully he will be able to walk that off. Neil Brown's defense gets the negative play that they needed on first down here to begin the second half. So second down and 12. Blitz off the edge is picked up. Illingworth steps up in the pocket. Just shy of the first down line to gain is Dylan Stoner.
I love the composure. Again, we mentioned it from the start of this game. The composure by Illingworth in the pocket. Again on display there. And then how about the job by Dylan Stoner of coming back to the quarterback. Coming back, that's called being friendly. Come back to it. Keep yourself in between you and that defensive back. Give the opportunity for that completion.
L.D. Brown is the tailback, and he'll try and pick it up. And I don't think he got there. It will be fourth down and about a half yard inside Oklahoma State's own 35-yard line.
Rolling on the field was short of the line to gain. Fourth down.
That's just textbook run defense by West Virginia. Bartlett kind of squeezed to that puller that shut down that gap. And then Darius Stills, the big defensive tackle, swam over the top, and met the tailback right in the hole.
The previous play is under further review. The one on the field was we were short of the line to gain.
So the replay booth is going to take a look at where the ball was spotted, as Darius Stills did wrap up L.D. Brown, and it appeared he was a half-yard shot. Had to get to the 35-yard line to pick up a first down. And again, the only thing that matters is the ball. And boy, with his back turned, I don't even think his back got to the 35-yard line, which certainly means the ball didn't get to the 35-yard line.
It's a great angle right here. It's a great finish. I don't think that there's any way that you can sit there and say that ball did get to the 35.
And you have to see not only a clear vision of the football.
Right.
So indisputable video evidence where you see the ball and you see it get to the 35-yard line. This should be a very quick confirmation from the replay booth. This is actually one of those where I'm surprised this even goes to review and you have to go through this.
Yeah.
I told you I can fix replay at the snap of a finger, right? Did I ever tell you my theory?
Here we go.
My philosophy?
Give it to me.
The moment that any game, and I don't just mean football, basketball, baseball, whatever.
After further review, the one on the field is confirmed.
There it
short
is.
of the line to gain. Fourth down.
And they actually did it here. I think we should put a 60-second clock on television.
It's got to get done.
And that's it.
Yeah.
When that clock goes to all zeros, it's on TV and it's up in the stadium. By the time that clock goes to zeros, you have to make a decision. And if you can't make a decision in 60 seconds, to me, by definition, it means it wasn't clear-cut enough to obviously overturn the call made on the field anyway. And then let's go. Let's keep the game moving.
Do you try to do this with your wife? Think that you can solve everything as well?
Well, I give up in 30 seconds. I actually have an even quicker system in our house. I just say yes.
I just say yes.
Fair catch by Sinkfield. Inside his own 20-yard line. 13-point lead for Oklahoma State, but West Virginia just forced a 3-and-out for the first time. Back here in Stillwater with our Aflac trivia question. Oklahoma State has won 5 in a row against West Virginia. That's their second longest active win streak against a Power 5 opponent. Against which Power 5 school do they hold their longest active win streak? If you know anything about the Big 12 and Big 12 football, this...
Couldn't you ask this question for basically every Big 12?
Should be a pretty obvious answer. Breaking tackles is Letty Brown, and he grinds out about 3 yards.
Well, how did West Virginia have success offensively? It's working those inside receivers. I love this. This is Winston Wright. You're going to see the safety at the top of the screen drop down, win on that slant, get the ball out on time. Big gain on 3rd down for your offense. How do we get in the end zone? Watch Dagey right here. Move that underneath defender. Winston Wright again. Set that safety. Cross his face. Get that ball out in front. Equals that big play. I think that's really going to be a focal point for this offense for success in the second half. And Oklahoma State's got to answer, how are they going to start defending it?
4.5 more for Letty Brown. 3rd down and 2. What would your plan be?
Well, you got to continue to treat inside leverage as an important thing. Is your matchup the right guy defensively? You know, is Winston Wright too quick for a safety? Maybe you bring a corner on the inside, but you got to maintain your leverage. And then for West Virginia to counter it, hey, if they take that away, give Winston Wright the option to go in or out. Allow him to win off the leverage of the defender.
3rd down and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. Right at the 1st down marker. Just that extra little bit of push from Letty Brown. Moves the chains.
We've seen that, though, from Letty Brown today. Just those feet keep moving and moving. The big, powerful back. Their coaches say it's personal when he runs the football to him, and it shows.
Off play action. Dagey's going to take a shot. He's got a man behind the defense, but he overthrows Bryce Ford-Wheaton. That is a touchdown if Dagey can put it on Ford-Wheaton.
It's a beautiful job. That safety's got his eyes in the backfield. Ford-Wheaton wins. Give me some speed. Go get that ball. And it's just out in front. That's the one. That's the one. But here's the thing. Now it's in Oklahoma State's defense's mind, right? Maybe those safeties play a little bit higher, and it helps pop a run. But don't be surprised if West Virginia goes back to it again, because it's there.
Letty Brown for a half yard. 3rd down and a long 9, close to 10.
I said it all first half. This is when you got to have your plan for zero pressure. Oklahoma State decided a little bit in the back end of that first half. They wanted to play some coverage. You empty it out, clear the picture. Looks like an all-out pressure coming from up top.
No deep safeties in the middle of the field. Now they drop back. There's the slant. Broke it up. Tanner McAllister knocked it away. There's a flag down.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 1, late with contact to the head. 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
Calvin Bundage. He commits the 15-yard foul.
Coming off the blitz up top. Oof.
You said it earlier, Dan. Even if it doesn't look like big-time contact, if it's late and it's to the quarterback's head, officials will throw that flag.
Yeah, and so to me, as a football player and a fan, like, I sit there and go, there's absolutely no way. But that is that one rule, black and white, that they will not compromise on. You contact that head, it's going to be a flag.
Letty Brown right up the middle. That looks to be good for another first down. And you know that penalty? It doesn't go down as a turnover in the box score. That's like a turnover. That's going to be fourth down. You're about to get the football back. You commit that penalty, and you extend this drive for West Virginia.
Absolutely, huge. And now West Virginia's got a little bit of new life again. Continue to pound this football. It's all about the safeties. It's all about the safeties if you're West Virginia. Watch these guys. If they're too close to the football, you go over the head. If they're down close, you take your shot downfield.
Letty Brown. That's 4 yards on first down.
You know, there was a conversation we had with Neil Brown and their offensive coordinator, Jared Parker, for West Virginia, the run game. And he said our interior needs to be better. Gummitter and Barron and Brown need to be better. And they've had a lot of success running between those three offensive linemen. I continue to pound the football here. Make them stop the run.
Letty Brown's been the workhorse. 3 more yards. Brings up second down at 7.
Because here's the thing, Jim Knowles is an aggressive defensive coordinator and play caller for Oklahoma State. Defenders do not like to get the football run on them. So eventually he goes, that's not going to happen anymore. And you stop the run by 2 things, numbers or pressure. And when you're a play caller as an offensive guy, you know at some point he's going to dial it up, and that's when you take advantage of it. When they commit those numbers or pressure, look it, there's no safety in the middle of this field. Chance to throw the ball downfield if you want.
That's the 9th play of the drive and the 8th carry by Brown. Out of the 9 plays we've seen so far, that's on Trey Sterling, though. No longer fooled. He was up near the line of scrimmage and run support and brought Brown down. So now it's 3rd down and 6.
Okay, so last 3rd down was that 0 blitz where everybody's bringing that pressure and you're playing man-to-man coverage on the outside. The only guy that has won for you right now is 16 Winston Wright or Reese Smith. So the big thing is giving 15 and 16, these slot receivers, giving them chances to win in the slot. There's Winston Wright. There's Reese Smith.
Here comes a blitz. Nagy, the true freshman, couldn't hold on to the football. As Reese Smith ran right into contact, Nagy ends up flat on his back as well, and we've got a flag down. We think this might be a chop block on Alex Sinkfield. And Mike Gundy's being given his options.
Personal foul, chop block, offense number 20 and number 74, 15-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Just watch Sinkfield as he's going to go this way on this block. Him and Gummit are 74. That left guard, he's going to cross, engage, and then down. That high-low. When that offensive lineman is engaged, you can't go down as a back there and hit below the waist.
So rather than making it 4th down and 6, Mike Gundy is going to give West Virginia another crack at it on 3rd down. Now, granted, it's 3rd down at 21.
Right.
They weren't quite in field goal range yet. I guess he's thinking, if I don't take the penalty, it's 4th and 6. West Virginia probably goes for it. And they're going to run it with Letty Brown. And he'll get bottled up. And the decision for Mike Gundy pays off. And this will be a no doubt about it punt now for West Virginia as Colby Harvell-Peel came up to cut down Letty Brown.
Kind of evens out. You had the unsportsmanlike, the personal foul, hit on the quarterback, and then you get that chop block because Oklahoma State had deserved play-wise to get off the field, and so they get that extra opportunity. West Virginia does offensively, and they can't capitalize off of it really because of the turnover or the penalty.
Dylan Stoner lets it bounce, and it takes a West Virginia roll. Well, ugly but effective down to the 12-yard line. Oklahoma State has the football back. A 20-7 lead midway through the third. Now the SEC is back. And the Duck is back as well. It's time to answer our Aflac trivia question. Oklahoma State has won 5 in a row against West Virginia. That's their second longest active win streak against a Power 5 opponent. Who's their longest active win streak against? Well, if you followed Big 12 football over the years, probably not a shock. It's Kansas. Chuba Hubbard into a mashup.
A lot of variety in this Oklahoma State offense. How about the big touchdown run by L.B. Brown? Watch Jelani Woods in Springfield seal off that gap, touchdown. Big hole for number 0. How about a little bit of a zone scheme? Ball on the right hash. Let's give it to our All-American Chuba Hubbard. One guy out in space, you're not going to make that tackle more often than not versus the versatile back. And then again, zone to the left, follow that tight end wrap, vision. Where's the hole? You cut straight downhill.
There he is again. Once again, West Virginia has forced a third down. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Well, last season, Oklahoma State was third best in FBS as a team in yards after contact. A lot of it was Chuba Hubbard, yards after contact.
They're playing with 2 high safeties. West Virginia's got 2 safeties deep. Only 7 guys in the box. This should be a run look for Oklahoma State off the right edge.
There it is for Chuba Hubbard. Plenty of room. Cruises into the secondary with a third down pickup.
That same look, they're getting up there, they're doing that clap. Okay, safeties, are you going to give us any indication? There's an umbrella look. And if you play those safeties high, we're going to continue to run the football. We don't think your 7 guys up front can stop our run game.
Well, they stay with the Heisman candidate. And this time he's bottled up at the line of scrimmage, may have lost a half yard.
The big thing is
Akeem Mesidor on the stop.
The big thing is remaining patient with that as a play caller, because you get so anxious to go, okay, we got to take our shot here. You got to remain patient and trust that your numbers, hat on a hat, 7 on 7, will continue to give creases to Chuba Hubbard.
Hubbard again. Close to 5 yards. Tony Fields tripped him up. So another big third down coming now for Oklahoma State's offense.
And you feel great if you're West Virginia defensively right here, because Oklahoma State hasn't been good on third down against you offensively today. They're going to force you to throw this ball all the way to the boundary on a one-on-one receiver.
Right after Chuba Hubbard goes over 3,000 yards for his career, Illingworth with a flag down, trying to keep the play alive, and he'll get stood up and shoved out well shy of the marker. So if this is a penalty, and you would think it probably is for holding against Oklahoma State, West Virginia can decline, and they'll get the football back.
Yeah, Jenkins held Dante Stills coming on the edge. Right when Illingworth broke the pocket, Stills is going to be right there, and Jenkins, their right tackle, just held him up.
Holding Offense, number 73. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Watch the right side of the screen, 55. Right there on the right edge. You see it right there. Jenkins holding him up. Stills is trying to fight through. And just that right arm gets wrapped around. Without that, he's going to be right in Illingworth's face.
This one might be returnable for Sinkfield. He's going to let it hop, and it turns into a good gamble. It reaches the end zone, so it will come out to the 20-yard line for West Virginia when we come back. We're back with today's Crunch Time, brought to you by Cheez-It. These teams have played some great games over the years. West Virginia back in 2013 rallied to beat number 11 Oklahoma State. Then in 2016, OSU upsets number 10 West Virginia for Mike Gundy's 100th win. And Oklahoma State a couple of years ago scored 2 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes to upset number 9 West Virginia. So in spite of the fact that the Pokes have won 5 in a row in this series, there have been plenty of close ones over the years. And now Dagey wants to take a shot into double coverage. And it's incomplete, intended for Winston Wright.
I don't think first down is the down for West Virginia to take their shots. I think it's second down. I would have pounded the run there, because now 2nd and 10, you haven't had great success throwing the football. And even if you call a run and you get a good run play of 5 yards, you're in 3rd and 5. I'd love for them to be aggressive here again in the pass game. Try to get some guys crossing the field to work against this man coverage.
Incomplete on the slant. Winston Wright got a hand on it, but there may have been a hand on him as well. And now it's 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, I think Harvell Peel got away with one. He wrapped Winston Wright right there on the hip. All right, I've brought it up a ton. 3rd and 10. Jared Dagey, you better have an answer for the pressure. And who's the answer? Because right now against zero blitz, you've had 0 success against it. So you have to expect for it to come and then adjust if it does not with your progressions. It doesn't look like Oklahoma State's going to bring it. They're going to bring some coverage. Go through your progressions.
Dagey steps up out of the pocket, runs right into a sack, and gets thrown down by Calvin Bundage. And it'll be a 3 and out for the Mountaineers.
Watch Dagey climb the pocket. That's fine. Stay right there. Stay right there. Don't run into a sack. So often in a 3-man rush, quarterbacks have way more time than they think. And they run themselves into a sack because you see more color and more coverage, and you think no one's open, and your clock in your head's going, I got to get rid of this football. I got to get rid of this football. You still have to just get through your progressions and run that play.
Fair catch is made by Stoner. And we're coming back to Stillwater in 30 seconds.
Look at that scuffed up wall. Embarrassing you. That wall is your Everest, but not anymore. Today, let's paint. Bear, exclusively at the Home Depot.
That's a steamy day in Stillwater. But in the second half, these offenses have been anything but hot. A little stutter step for L.D. Brown. And he picks up a first down. 12-yard gain.
Man, L.D. Brown has looked good today. He has looked... I feel like he's looked more explosive than Chuba Hubbard. And that's saying a lot. I get that. But he has looked more decisive and explosive.
7 carries for 77 yards. Illingworth has all day. Throws an interception to Tony Fields. Tony Fields with blockers in front. Dodging tacklers. A huge takeaway for West Virginia. The grad transfer from Arizona flips the script.
1 hitch, 2 hitch, 3 hitch. You've done such a good job of protecting the football. Once you get into 3 hitches in the pocket, get it out of your hands. Tony Fields just hanging there, and the ball gets thrown right to him. Great job of making that catch, and you see the athleticism on the run back. And now West Virginia's got some mojo. Illingworth has done such a great job of valuing that ball. Once you're in that pocket, 3 to 4 hitches, move on. The play's not working, take off and run. Great play by Tony Fields.
Well, Dylan Tonkery was listed as a starting Mike linebacker a couple of weeks ago. Tony Fields, though, ended up getting in the game, making 10 tackles. He was all over the field, earned the #1 spot on the depth chart, and now Neil Brown's not happy. Maybe again a little sluggish.
Time out of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Coming out for West Virginia after the takeaway. That's a bad timeout for the Mountaineers. You're down by a couple of scores. In the second half, you might need those timeouts later in this game to call one on a change of possession. That's a waste, and I think the head coach knew it.
You got to get your team into the right mindset and play call, though. You know, I totally agree with you, but at the same time, this isn't a waste down off that turnover, you know? Like, if you don't like the philosophy of your play call right there, you don't have the right people on the field. Calling that timeout to get them in the mindset of exactly what you're looking for is worth it.
Well, it's a Sunshine State rivalry. Tonight's Saturday Night Football matchup. De'Ara King, what an impact he has had for the 12th-ranked Canes. They host Florida State at Hard Rock Stadium, 7:30 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. And boy, De'Ara King, talk about an impact transfer, to say the least. The numbers he has put up. They've been looking for a quarterback at Miami, it feels like forever, and now they've got one.
And they got a play caller. Rhett Lashley comes over from SMU, big-time play caller. That offense is going to be fun to watch.
Letty Brown for a yard. Now we've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Jared Dagey has not completed a pass yet in the second half. So they're behind the sticks now, 2nd down and 10. Looking for his first completion. Off his back foot, throws it up for grabs. Incomplete. Right off the chest plate of Bryce Ford-Wheaton. And on the stumble, he couldn't haul it in.
And again, I said it before, it's all about where those safeties are. Those safeties came so close down to the line of scrimmage, and you've got those one-on-one matchups. As long as the receiver wins, it's there.
Defense, number 24, 15-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
But he does draw the pass interference flag.
You got to tip your cap to Dagey because he has hung in there and made some throws. That is a tough decision for a quarterback. Okay, here comes that pressure. I got to give my guy a shot. And Ford-Wheaton fighting downfield for the football. Gosh, you'd love to see him make that catch. You got to go to him as a quarterback. Hey, I'm coming back to you. I'm coming back to you. I'm going to need you to come make a play here soon for our offense.
Again, Oklahoma State shows blitz on first down.
Look at all those people down near the line of scrimmage. Take your shot again.
Slap, broken tackle, bobbling the football, T.J. Simmons, and he holds on. And he's got a first down. First and goal for West Virginia.
These slot receivers are going to keep West Virginia in this football game. Continue to win. How about the hand-eye coordination, the focus through that contact? Good job, ref, getting out of the way. A little fleet of foot, better than Bob.
Doesn't say much. Letty Brown. Submarines for a couple of yards. This is the first red zone possession of the game.
Yeah.
For either team. The touchdowns have all been big plays, broken plays, even one on defense for Oklahoma State.
You know what I would love to see here is you've done so much ball fake and in-breaking routes. I'd love to see a very similar look by your backfield and give my receiver kind of like a slant and corner. I want him to do something where he'll come break in and then get back to that front pylon, to that back corner.
Well, now it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 9. Trey Sterling with a tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Oklahoma State's not going to let you run this football, right? It's not going to happen. You got to be proactive and anticipatory on 2nd down. You're more than likely going to get pressure here. Jim Knowles is not going to let you sit back and hang on to the football. you're thinking find your best matchup, and it's got to be a route that breaks towards the sidelines.
Blitz coming. Dagey looking for the back left corner, incomplete. Reese Smith, the intended receiver. And here comes the field goal group.
That's the right play. That's the right look that you want. When you're playing zero pressure, when you're seeing that, those defenders are inside leverage. And so you love to get something that breaks away. Reese Smith just wasn't able to wiggle enough to separate.
26 yards away for Evan Staley. Got it. So West Virginia off of the turnover, able to get 3, and now it's a 10-point game late here in the third quarter. And this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you to Allstate. It's a really good job, though, again, by that Oklahoma State defense.
Huge.
Dealing with sudden change. For the first time in the game, one of the two teams gets into the red zone. They stiffen. And as you said, they are loading up and not allowing the running room for Letty Brown, who's not even averaging 3 yards a carry in the second half. I mean, he was averaging about 5 yards a carry in the first half.
Well, when you have probably 4 guys in your secondary that are going to play in the NFL, you feel pretty good about that. Like, Williams is going to play in the NFL. McAllister is going to play in the NFL. Sterling's going to play in the NFL. Harvell Peel is going to play in the NFL. Bernard Converse might as well. So, like, they got some guys back there that you feel confident in. That's why Jim Knowles will always say, I'm going to go be aggressive. But to your point, just an outstanding job by that defense of not giving up that touchdown.
You really think that? You think all 5 of those guys, I mean, they basically just live in nickel.
Yeah.
All 5 of those guys are going to be pros.
Here's the thing, especially in the NFL right now, because of the space usage and the college game coming up there, if you can cover and you can tackle in space, which all these guys can, you're going to get opportunity at the next level, and everybody on that secondary can.
That says a lot. Well, we've got Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and Heat tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. NBA Countdown gets our coverage started at 6:30 on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. I had no idea that I would enjoy watching these games in the bubble as much as I have. I have watched so much of the NBA bubble, and there have been some incredible games. How about Tyler Hero the other day?
I was going to say, me, if I had to tell you my game is most similar to one player in the bubble right now, it's Tyler Hero's.
Really?
Yeah.
That's at least humble. Chuba Hubbard lost the football. And it gets covered up by Josh Sills, the left guard. Well, the play's going to net a 2-yard loss. It looks like for Oklahoma State, but it could have been back-to-back giveaways.
Great cut initially, and then from the back, that ball gets punched out. And that's another fortunate break for Oklahoma State offensively. That Sills is there, the ex-Mountaineer himself, to fall on that football.
Jared Bartlett punched it out. 2nd down and 12. That should take us to the end of the third quarter. Before 2nd down and 12. So we head to the 4th with Oklahoma State on top by 10. We'll come back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by PlayStation 5. As we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. We head to the 4th quarter here in Stillwater. And then tonight, UFC 253. Back on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi with 2 title bouts. Undefeated Israel Adesanya will defend his middleweight belt against undefeated Paulo Costa. And then Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz square off for the vacant light heavyweight title. Spinning away is L.D. Brown to start off the 4th quarter. By the way, you can order the main card in English and Spanish at ESPNplus.com/PPV. The prelims tonight start at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes. The main card on pay-per-view at 10 p.m. 3rd down and 10 for Oklahoma State to begin the 4th quarter. Smoke screen. Tylan Wallace. He's been quiet today, and he won't get to the 1st down line to gain. So West Virginia gets another defensive stop down by 10.
Product of the young quarterback. You're backed up. He comes off a series where he just throws that interception. It's 3rd and 10. The last thing you want to do is give West Virginia a short field by another mistake. So I don't hate that play call by this Oklahoma State offense. Make West Virginia in this 4th quarter go score 10 points to at least tie on this big-time Oklahoma State defense.
Sinkfield with a fair catch at his own 29-yard line.
Bob, credit to Daege's attitude on the sidelines. He has been nonstop talking to his receivers, trying to stay positive while they're sitting down kind of in shock. And it's something that the coaches have told us. He's a guy who's in his leadership has learned when to press and learn when to whisper. Right now would be a time to press. And he said, you know, that's kind of hard when you got 10 wide receivers who all want to touch the ball. But he's continuously doing that since the start of the 2nd half.
Yeah, Chris, and they even told us that over the last 3 weeks, he's really made a ton of strides in that. This is something where, as a quarterback, you got to know yourself and you got to know the people around you. But at the end of the day, if it's the most important thing for your team is you got to go jump on someone, you got to go jump on them.
Daege off play action. He'll be sacked. So it will be 2nd down and long. Bongbamiga got through and helped bring down Jarret Daege. Let's check in with Kevin Negandhi.
Bob, time now for a protection spotlight brought to you by Allstate, where take a look at a great touchdown play in Baton Rouge. KJ Costello has had the protection all day, and in his Mississippi State debut, it's nice to have Kylan Hill to the house. 75 yards. Costello 432 so far in the air. Bulldogs up 27-24.
Well, would that be some kind of a debut for Mike Leach? My goodness, swing pass, Letty Brown. Could you imagine going to Death Valley and winning the first time you're standing on the Mississippi State sideline?
I got some friends, Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark, Booger McFarland. My text message will be coming through quickly if that's the case.
Here's what I want to see. I want to watch Monday morning get up, and how many different cowbells can you ring on Monday morning?
I'm not above being over the top.
You will be absolutely relentless, I'm sure. 3rd down and 9. 3-man rush. Daege still out of the pocket. Has to throw another one off his back foot. Somehow squeezes it in, and it looks like flags are coming out. This might be a headshot on T.J. Simmons by Oklahoma State. Will this be targeting?
Pass is incomplete, intended for number 1, T.J. Simmons.
Arvell Peel was there in coverage.
I think they're both going for the football as it's floating in the air. Great job by Daege of hanging in there, shifting, sliding in that pocket. Ball gets put in harm's way, there's no doubt about it. But man, it both looks like they are both going for the football.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 31, 15-yard penalty and an automatic. 1st down. Number 1 may remain in the game due to his helmet coming off due to a foul.
I'm okay with that call because it's that. First of all, that's an obvious call. I love the fact that they don't call targeting or anything like that. It's 100% a face mask. It's a bad break for Arvell Peel because he's going for the ball and just hangs on to the face mask. But that's the penalty. I love the way the officials did that.
First and 10 now midfield after the penalty.
You got soft completions to your slots if you want them.
Daege will run. Bongbamiga meets him at the line of scrimmage and brings him down. Eamon Bongbamiga last year led Oklahoma State in tackles for loss and sacks, and he is making impact plays.
Right here. Watch his patience, okay? Daege's going to go through progression, patience, and watch him shoot off the left side screen right there. Once Daege commits to being a runner, he goes and hunts. That's really good zone discipline as a linebacker. There's Winston Wright. That's been your guy all game.
Sinkfield with a cutback. Inside the 40-yard line, cruising for a West Virginia 1st down.
That was a sick cutback by Sinkfield, because Trey Sterling, the safety, had dropped down. He's going to be right there. He just did a great job of understanding, okay, you're setting, I'm going to go backside.
Did they not get set again trying to play with tempo?
Officials timeout for injury to a defensive player.
Well, that's why Neil Brown was upset. Bong Bamiga is hurt. We'll step aside. Back at Boone Pickens Stadium with our Pacific Life game summary. On terms of total yards, 325 to 266 for West Virginia over Oklahoma State, and yet they trail by 10. Well, Dan, that's because they've given up some big plays. They gave up a scoop and score, and also that L.D. Brown 66-yard rushing touchdown looms large.
Yeah, in many ways they've controlled the football game. They have just, in cliche football terms, hurt themselves. But they're still in this game. 1st and 10, balls at the 39-yard line, driving.
Blitz. And there is the big play threat, Winston Wright. That's his 5th catch, and that puts him up close to 120 yards receiving.
But there's the answer. Defensive coordinators hate when they bring pressure and you show them you have an answer, because then it's a one-on-one open field tackle. Great job by the receiver and quarterback being on the same page.
Sinkfield. Big play coming now, down by 10. Just barely, you would think, inside field goal range. 3rd down and 3 for West Virginia.
This is when I think West Virginia's got to help their receivers out a little bit. You got to anticipate man coverage. So can you get some condensed splits? Can you get a guy running and use a rub or a pick to force these defenders to run through a bunch of traffic?
A long 3, closer to 3rd down and 4. Here comes a blitz. There's another slam. A 1st down to Sam James.
I love it. They free release the tailback, meaning he's got no blocking responsibility. Watch 13 at the top, freeze. Williams has got his eyes in the backfield, and just that 1-step slant underneath. You cleared out the linebacker. Beautiful play design by West Virginia.
Mountaineers in the red zone with 10 minutes to go, down by 2 scores.
You see this empty look again. They like what they're doing. They're spreading this Oklahoma State defense out. You got great numbers.
Timing play. Left corner of the end zone. Hauled in by Ford Wheaton, but out of bounds.
I like them getting to empty. Watch Ford Wheaton here. Go up, great tracking of the football. Here's the only thing. Daggy, give him a chance to come down in play with that ball. That's a safety. That always makes you sick as a quarterback when you get your receiver on a safety. Trust your guy to go make that play. Keep him in bounds.
How much more dangerous or difficult would West Virginia be to defend if Jared Dagey was in any way a quarterback draw threat?
Oh, yeah, because you can spread them out and use it numbers-wise.
No matter how many numbers Oklahoma State lacks in the box, doesn't seem like he's ever a threat to run, and now he might have taken a delay of game in the red zone.
No, I think
unless they got a timeout.
I think they got to let the official go from setting the ball to get back.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down. The offense substituted late in the play clock, and the defense had an opportunity to match up when the play clock, the game clock expired.
Yeah, there's no set time limit as to how long the defense has to sub if you sub late in the play clock. So you hurt yourself because the defense has the right to substitute if you substitute offensively when there's not much time left on that play clock. Five-man rush. Dagey, another slam. And again, it is hauled in by Winston Wright. And it sets up another big 3rd down.
Another great job of working those slot receivers. I'd go up to the line of scrimmage and I'd try to get Oklahoma State to declare themselves, because if they're going to play coverage, I'm going to try and pop a run. Sinkfield's done a really good job of utilizing running. I'd anticipate some zero pressure. See all these bodies down near the line of scrimmage. Again, try to find an outbreaker or a pick.
Incomplete. Sam James couldn't hold on, and he was well short of the line to gain by at least a couple of yards, even if he did hold on. So a field goal here makes it a one-score game with 9:05 to go, and that will be what Neil Brown is forced to do. He'll take the 3.
Good job by Rodarius Williams there. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That was the same play he had just gotten beat on third down before. Good job driving on the football this time.
30 yards for Staley, and he knocks it right down the middle. So we've got a one-score game with 9:01 to go. We'll step aside for just a moment.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by Pacific Life, more than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
Well, Mike Gundy told us it's been a long time coming for Oklahoma State to have a Ring of Honor. They have debuted today, and the first ever inductee, Thurman Thomas. And there are worse names that you could start a Ring of Honor with than an all-time legend, Thurman Thomas. So he will forever be atop Boone Pickens Stadium, number 34. And by the way, if these uniforms look familiar, if you're nostalgic for some Pokes football, they're wearing the same uniforms today as they wore back in the Sun Bowl, all the way back when Thurman Thomas played in Stillwater. So this is an homage to Thurman Thomas and his induction today into their Ring of Honor.
These uniforms are sweet. I mean, if I was a player, I'd be like, can we wear these everywhere?
Returnable from the goal line for Braden Johnson. And he's out of bounds shy of the 20-yard line. Kevin Nagandi.
5 hours after Oklahoma lost Texas in some trouble against Texas Tech and Lubbock. Sam Ehlinger, he's picked off here by Alex Hogan. Hogan down the sidelines. He would be stopped in the red zone, and here comes Sir Roderick Thompson. Tippy-toeing down that left side, 42-38 Texas Tech in the fourth quarter. Longhorns, though, driving. Back to you.
Good games in the Big 12 right now. Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State, West Virginia. West Virginia has made this a one-possession game. Chuba Hubbard lost the football. Who's got it at the bottom of the pile? It looks like another bailout, possibly, and a recovery by an offensive lineman for Oklahoma State. Quay Mays, big number 99, and gold and blue is trying to make a case that his guys got it underneath. But that's another recovery by an offensive lineman.
By the offense, second down.
Tevin Jenkins comes up with the recovery.
From the back again, the effort by West Virginia's defense. We talked about this before. Something just doesn't look right with Chuba Hubbard. And I think it's fair right now for Mike Gundy and Casey Dunn to turn to L.D. Brown and rely on him for the rest of this game.
Looks like that's what they're going to do, at least for the time being. No, it's a slant intended for Tylan Wallace. Looks like a flag came out. On 3rd down and 9.
Pass interference, defense, number 11. First down to spot the foul.
It's the right call. And the thing is, Fortune didn't need to do it. He's in perfect position. He's inside Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace is running an in-breaking route. Just stand your ground. It's right there. No need to drive on the football there and get there before the ball gets there. You're in position. You know, West Virginia is going to continue to dare Oklahoma State to throw the football with the numbers down in the box.
Junior college transfer Desmond Jackson comes off the bench and gets an opportunity. Surprising that with Chuba Hubbard coughing it up and heading to the sideline, they don't go back to L.D. Brown. I wonder if L.D. Brown is maybe shaken up, because this is try and grind it out and win the game time potentially for Oklahoma State. You're going with a junior college transfer that hasn't played yet today.
And this is very difficult for a play caller now, right? You just mentioned junior college transfer back and your true freshman quarterback in his first start.
Quarterback run, Illingworth. That looked like a broken play. Still came up about 2 yards shy of a first down.
How about that decision, though? That's a big-time decision by the young man. You go out and you call a quick game, and quarterbacks think, okay, this is just an easy throw. I'm going to throw it out there, and it's not there. Don't take a bad play and make it worse. Instinctually, just tuck that ball and go get us positive yards. Now you've given yourselves a chance on third down. Love that decision. If I'm West Virginia, I'm thinking, okay, here comes run game. I'm going to play some man coverage on the outside, and we're going to go stop this run.
And now they've got L.D. Brown in the game. And they'll give it to him. And he will get the first down. So it turns out L.D. Brown not only is okay to get back in the game, but moves the chains in a very important moment for Oklahoma State.
Just great patience. Just great patience behind his two tight ends, Logan Carter and Jelani Woods.
Delayed handoff. And Brown picks up 2 yards. Now, this is something that always infuriates me about high-tempo teams at this point in the game. And why do you want to snap the ball with 20, 25 seconds on the play clock when you're winning with 6.5 minutes to go? And here they are back at the line. When will they snap the ball? 18 seconds on the play clock. And a wide receiver screen to Tay Martin, and he's hit behind the line and brought down by Alonzo Adai. You're saving time for West Virginia. You are extending the game for them and just maximizing how much more clock they will have if you have to give them the football back.
Yeah, you've left probably another 40 seconds on this clock. You shouldn't be snapping this ball to likely around 5 minutes if you were running the clock correctly.
Third down and 9. Three-man rush. Illingworth under pressure. To the sideline. Did Tylan Wallace haul that in and get a foot down? He did. What a catch.
Look at the athleticism. First of all, go up and make the catch, and then get that left foot down by Tylan Wallace. You want to know one of the reasons why he's a Biletnikoff Award finalist? That's pure outstanding wide receiver play there. Not only the catch, but he felt the quarterback scramble, break the pocket, breaks off his route, and gets to the sideline.
On field was a catch.
Boy, what part of this play would they feel like they would need to review? Unless they think Wallace didn't control the football all the way to the ground. We'll find out when we come back. It's one of the best rivalry games in all of college football, and it happens tonight. Saturday night football with De'Ara King and number 12 UM taking on FSU at Hard Rock Stadium. 7:30 Eastern. The Canes and the Knowles on ABC and the ESPN app. After what was thankfully a very quick and obvious replay confirmation of the call on the field, Oklahoma State has gone back to Desmond Jackson, his first opportunity to play today with 5 minutes to go in the game, trying to kill the clock if they can, but inexplicably he is set to go again from the 38-yard line with the play clock this time winding down.
They heard us.
Yep.
They are going to let the clock bleed a little bit.
Quick game. Right about at the first down marker to Tylan Wallace. A yard shot. So here's a huge play now. 3rd down and 1 with 4.5 to go.
Just a big fan of Tylan Wallace's game. I love his character. I love his route running. I love his hands. I love his competitiveness. You know, listen, normally I go, let's go quarterback sneak, but with the Stills brothers on the inside, I don't love that. I think something off the left side of your offensive line. Your right side is super young if you're Oklahoma State. Let's go off the left side, follow some of our tight ends and see if we can go get a first down.
The junior college transfer, Jackson, gets the first down. So given an opportunity rather than L.D. Brown and then Chuba Hubbard, who's fumbled a couple of times, Jackson moves the sticks.
Take advantage of his opportunity. There's a little crease there. Your job is to go north and south, downhill. Don't dance. Good job by him, just going to get those 3 necessary yards.
And now Chuba Hubbard is back in the game with 3:40 to go. 11th play of the drive. And Hubbard secures the football. You know, Oklahoma State only had 2 first downs in the second half before this drive. They have 4 first downs on this drive, trying to milk the clock down.
Predominantly been run game as well. They've kind of relied on this offensive line. They had the huge 3rd down conversion from Illingworth to Tylan Wallace, but they've decided to kind of, okay, offensive line, this is when we need you guys to finish this football game. Now, West Virginia, you're playing with 2 high safeties still. At some point here, you're going to have to go sell out a little bit and roll some dice because they're already in field goal range. You can't play 2 high safeties anymore.
Here comes the blitz. And picks up a yard. Well, this is probably the game here for West Virginia. They only have 2 timeouts, remember. They spent a timeout earlier this half coming out of a break when the clock was stopped because they just couldn't get a communication of a play in for the sideline after the interception that Tony Fields secured.
This should 100% be a run play. You run the football here, force West Virginia to take a timeout, and then you trot your field goal kicker on and try to take this 10-point lead with under 2 minutes left. No need to throw the football here.
Did West Virginia jump, or was a timeout called? A flag is down.
Prior to snap, false start, offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down. The clock will start on the snap.
So Mike Gundy, he didn't see the false start. You can read his lips. He's saying what happened. So now instead of 3rd down and 4, it's 3rd down and 9. That also moves the ball back to the 30-yard line. So right here, you're looking at about a 47 or a 48-yard field goal. That extra 5 yards could mean a lot if you're trying to ice the game with a kick if you don't pick up this first down. That's a big 5 yards in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, I just said previously I'm 100% running the football. I think your quarterback has proven to you this game that you can trust him to make a good decision here and throw the ball.
Draw play. And it's a first down and more. L.D. Brown. That's a bad defensive breakdown for West Virginia.
Watch this offensive line. There comes pressure off the right edge. Great job by L.D. Brown being patient and setting up that block by Schneider. And then you see that vertical burst again. L.D. Brown's been impressive this afternoon. Really good play call. They spread out West Virginia defensively and left him one-on-one. That center on that backer and allow your back to choose a side.
A field goal is as good as a touchdown here. If you're Oklahoma State, makes it a 2-score game. And so you'd have to think they will simply be setting up for that, but that time they may have gotten a timeout called from the sideline because the play clock was winding all the way down. So Oklahoma State, to avoid a delay of game, calls timeout.
Oklahoma State has called their first time in the half.
1:26 to go in the 4th quarter. Stillwater.
Kevin Agani in studio. So much history, so many close games in the rivalry. Manny Diaz in Miami looking for its 4th straight win against Florida State. That's coming up prime time on ABC tonight. Back to Bob, Dan, and Chris.
Kevin, it is never a bad night of football when you're watching the Canes and the Knolls. What will happen in the last minute? 27 here. How about a fumbled snap? And covering it up is Illingworth. And now West Virginia has to call timeout. Well, that's a gift as Oklahoma State loses about 10 yards. And almost lost the football.
West Virginia, it's called their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Oklahoma State just pushing their fans' buttons right now, just making it as interesting as possible with a couple of these fumbles, balls on the ground.
Well, West Virginia, Oklahoma State runs their second down play, however long it takes, 6 or 7 seconds. You can call your final timeout.
Right.
And get it down to maybe minute 18, minute 17, somewhere in that range. 40 seconds on the play clock. West Virginia is going to force Oklahoma State to do something on 4th down here.
Right, so these should be 2 straight runs. The big thing you tell your ball carriers are, and I like these going towards the sidelines because you can burn another couple extra seconds. 1, you do not go out of bounds. 2, you cross cover the football, meaning you cover it with both arms, side to side. 3, you do not score a touchdown. If you get down to the 1-yard line, you just go down. There's no, a score is not beneficial to us right now. So those are the big 3 things. And if you're Oklahoma State, you also are prepared to just allow the clock to bleed out on 3rd down and call a timeout before your field goal.
Well, Chuba Hubbard has fumbled a couple of times. He is back in the game as the tailback.
My signal.
If West Virginia can get a stop right in this neighborhood, this is not a chip shot field goal.
The big thing for a play caller is you want to get it on the hash that your kicker wants. Is he a right hash or left hash kicker?
There's Hubbard. Up the middle again. He's at the 5 and he walks in for a touchdown. With a minute 17 to go, it's a 2-possession game again.
Beautiful cut back by Chuba. 1 to the left, a jumps cut, and then back across to the right. He's obviously playing fantasy football and decides to go get that touchdown for all the people who took him.
Regardless of that decision, at that point, if you're Oklahoma State, you're probably winning the game. You're up 2 scores now. But if he lays down at the 1-yard line, then West Virginia may never touch the ball again.
Right.
And now West Virginia with a minute 17 to go. Now, look, they've got 1 timeout. They need 2 touchdowns. But they are going to get the ball back.
I mean, listen, it's easy for me to be up here and say, don't go score. But at the end of the day, the only way West Virginia has any chance in this game, albeit minimal, is this if they get the ball back. And this is college football. Crazy things can absolutely happen, especially on a kick return.
If we had our ESPN analytics crew with us right now, they would probably say that if Chuba Hubbard lays down at the 1-yard line, West Virginia is probably like 0.05% to win the game.
Now they're
0.07%.
Yeah, that's true.
Regardless of whether or not he chooses to score there, it is going to take an absolute miracle for West Virginia one way or the other. But they are about to get their hands on the football with a timeout and a minute 17 to go. But they need 2 scores. And they want to probably start this with a return. No, take a knee and bring it out to the 25-yard line. And this will most likely be one of those film sessions, if you're a Mountaineer, where there is going to be a lot of what might have been. They've got 356 total yards. Oklahoma State has 340. And yet they've only got 13 points on the board, down by 2 touchdowns. That just goes to show you how many different factors in a game can result in that final score outside of the number of yards you put up.
A lot of times games like this, they make you sick to your stomach, but at the same time, you look at them with the glass half full, and you go, okay, are these things we can clean up? And if you do, you got a chance.
Offside. Defense number 94 entered the neutral zone, causing the offense to move. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I think for Jared Dagey, you know, the reality is you're going to have to put the ball in harm's way here a little bit. Little dink and dunks and check downs, they won't do anything for your offense. The ball's got to go down the field some.
And a drop on the crossing route by Winston Wright.
And you shouldn't be even really running crossers. They don't do anything for your offense. The ball's got to be big ins, 20 yards downfield. There's got to be seam balls. You've got to throw some hole shots or go routes on the outside. You've got to find a way to get a big chunk early in your downs.
Yeah, those crossing routes were very effective when Oklahoma State was bringing 0 blitzes.
Right.
They're not bringing 0 blitzes up by 2 touchdowns with 1:15 to go. They're going to be sitting back in coverage. There's a little pick play to T.J. Simmons, and that's good for a first down.
The big thing for the quarterback here is those short completions. Just throw the ball in the dirt. Save time, save time. Continue to give yourself snaps.
Well, a check down in the field of play for 6 yards. And they're going to be forced, I think, to spend their time out here. Oh, there's a flag down.
Nelsbury receiver, downfield, offense number 68, 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Wow. They just can't hold their water. And West Virginia looks like will be again called for an offensive foul here with 57 seconds to go.
I think it's offsides.
Offside.
Nope.
Defense number 1, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, still first down. The clock will start on the snap.
I missed the Calvin Bundage
was declined by West Virginia.
rush. Goes down. Cameron Murray gets the sack.
That's why some of those offsides are, I mean, these pass rushers just have a complete jump right now in the clap.
Knocked down on the check down attempt. Trace Ford batted it down, so now it's 3rd down and 15. So Oklahoma State is going to beat West Virginia for the 6th consecutive time. And they're going to have 2 wins, but probably if you're Mike Gundy, you're not going to feel tremendous about how your team has played in either of the 2 games that you have won. They really struggled against Tulsa. And today, they gave West Virginia a lot of opportunities to stay in this game. But that will be the exclamation point. Calvin Bundage gets the sack. And will the Mountaineers even snap it again and put Dagey in harm's way? Down to 5 seconds to go, and that will most likely end the game. And it will. So Oklahoma State with a 27-13 win over West Virginia in the Big 12 opener for both of these 2 teams. For Dan Orlovsky and Chris Budden, I'm Bob Wischusen. We'll say goodnight from Stillwater. It's time for the college football scoreboard. Back to the studio. And here's Kevin Negandhi.